Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ron Sneller from Sneller Financial here, coming at you. A couple of months ago, I was on a podcast with a friend of mine where I gave a talk and called it The 7 Deadly Sins of Retirement Planning. And recently, I finally got around to writing a 7-part blog series about the 7 deadly sins. And I wanted to do this video series to kind of complement the writing in my blog. And so I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. The 7 deadly sins are these. Number 1, not having a holistic financial and retirement plan. Number 2, no spend down strategy or exit plans for the employer-sponsored retirement program. Number 3, being too focused on growth rather than income. Number 4 is not having a volatility buffer. Number 5 is not being risk smart. Number 6, mistakes with insurance. And finally, number 7, no strategy for taxes. Today, in the next few minutes, I'll share my thoughts on number 1, not having a holistic plan. You know, many people start saving or investing money simply because they feel like they're supposed to, with no thought on how their current decisions are going to affect future outcomes. For example, many people default to contributing money to their 401k, and they think that they have a plan. Now, look, I applaud anybody who's taking positive action steps, but let me caution you, a 401k, that is not a holistic plan. In fact, it's a government plan, a plan where you have a ton of restrictions and where you might end up tying up your money for decades, depending on how old you are right now. On top of that, people generally don't understand how the distributions work, either in terms of the safe withdrawal rates, and they also don't understand how taxes work either. Now, these people, they often don't have liquid savings because they're so focused on investing. Yet when they need cash, they end up paying huge penalties and fees and taxes because they have no cash. The only money they have is locked up in their 401k. Now that leads to the penalties and the taxes, and that significantly hampers long-term performance. Remember the end goal. Starting with the end in mind, creating this holistic plan, why do you even have a 401k? Most people can't even answer that question. But the simple fact of the matter is that the end goal is to generate retirement income. When I begin to ask people about what they want so I can get a feel for how we should structure their plan, they often become very disillusioned with their 401k. I ask them questions like these. What percentage of your retirement income do you not want subject to stock market risk, real estate risk, or business risk? You know, it's surprising how many people say 100%, that they want 100% of their retirement income safe from market risk and volatility. Another question I ask is, what percentage of your retirement income do you not want subject to income taxation? Again, it's surprising how many people say, I don't want any of my retirement income to be subject to income taxation. Is that possible? Then it's like, I have to be the bearer of bad news. You know, do you understand that by putting all of your money, all your retirement savings into a 401k, you are putting yourself 100% at the mercy of the performance of the equities market? If stocks and bonds are doing well, great, so are you. But if the market crashes, so does your retirement. Are you okay with that? And by putting all of your retirement savings into your 401k, all of it is subject to income taxation upon withdrawal. You see, many people forget that the 401k contributions doesn't eliminate tax. It just defers it until later. But it also defers the tax calculation. Now, can I ask you something? Do you think it's possible that tax rates will be higher in the future than they are right now? And if that answer is maybe or yes, can we consider a few other things? Can we consider the fact that the country is over $25 trillion with a T, $25 trillion in debt, with Medicare projected to become insolvent in 2026, Social Security projected to become insolvent in 2034, and with the low rates of the current tax law set to expire in the year 2025, do you think it's possible that tax rates could end up being much higher in the future? And with many of our politicians getting a larger and larger appetite for all of these spending programs or these social programs, such as free college, free healthcare, universal basic income, if more of these politicians get into office and pass these through as laws, won't that just compound the problem? You know, we've always been told by the financial industry that we'll pay lower tax rates in retirement. But now that we're here, we're actually finding the opposite to be true in many, many cases. On top of all that's we already mentioned, don't we lose many of the deductions and credits that we usually get to rely on during our working years? Like the deductions and credits for mortgage interest, having dependent or minor children, student loan interest, even charitable donations, because many retirees now tend to donate their time instead of their money. Okay. You know, I recently had a gentleman in his late 30s tell me that he thinks that taxes will be way higher in the future and that he wants 0% of his income subject to market volatility and that he wants as little as possible of his retirement income subject to income tax. Yet he's maxing out his 401k to the tune of $19,000 per year. Now, that's a great savings habit. I'm not trying to denigrate this gentleman in any way. But when I asked him about the tax issue and about the volatility issue, he said, I really haven't given it much thought because I was just trying to squirrel away as much money as I can. Look, I'm proud of this gentleman for, number one, living within his means. Obviously, he's a high income earner. So instead of spending all that money, he is saving it. He is investing it. He has financial discipline, long-term gratification, right? And he's doing it for the betterment of his family's financial future. I don't fault anyone for trying to improve their financial lives with the information and the knowledge that they have available to them. The problem becomes is that many people have faulty, biased, or outdated information. As I ask people these questions, in order to help them to come to their own conclusions and their own clarity, they often come to the realization that what they're currently doing is many times the exact opposite of what they actually believe. Why? Well, many times they're taking those actions because of the way that the Wall Street and the financial media has conditioned us what to do with our money. So whether it's using 401ks, Roth IRAs, cash value life insurance, brokerage account, annuities, or any of the other financial products that are out there, it's important to work with a trusted financial professional to structure your retirement plan based on your goals, your values, your beliefs to achieve the desired outcome that you want. Look, with a little effort, with teamwork, and more importantly, with me on your side, we can create the kind of secure, happy financial life that you have always wanted. So we're at the end of this video. We're at the end of deadly sin number 1, which is having no holistic retirement plan. Please feel free to contact me for a complimentary appointment and tune in for our next entry in this video series for deadly sin number 2, which is having no spend down plan or exit strategy. Thanks for tuning in.